Alright, so this is a 2000 Trail Boss 325 2x4. It's a 4-stroke motor, pretty solid machine. Just went through and did a lot of work to this thing. Previous owner, the reason we got it was the rear swing arm had been broken for whatever reason. He didn't tell me, but so I had to buy a used swing arm. Like this, one of these straps had cracked, so you had to just kind of flopping around back here. So you had to get new swing arm. We got new brake caliper over in here. A couple other new parts, like this was starting to get a little worn. There's just a little bit of play that way, so I got a new one of those, another $100 there. New bearing carrier. I think I did get a different axle too. I forget the reason why, but that. Tension the chain, you know, basics kind of. Let's see, did oil change, oil filter. We put one of these oil lines up here. It's leaking. So we got two brand new oil lines up here. New fuel line, fuel filter. My brother went through the carb. Oh, got a new brake master here. If you didn't notice, it's kind of weird. I've heard that these axles were the same as like a Trailblazer. So they have two brake systems. They have one for the front and one for the rear. That's why there's two bleeders. And you have a foot brake over here, hydraulic foot brake that goes back. That's the caliper there. So one caliper does two things: handbrake and foot brake. Kind of neat. So we got a new brake master there. Just put new tires on. There's like less than, I'd say there's probably 15 miles on them now, something like that. We took it on a little ride, make sure it was going good. Really didn't have to do a whole lot else to it. Oh, new Polaris battery. OEM Polaris, actually. And up in there. I'm not sure what the other previous owner did to this battery box. We just kind of strapped it in there. It's kind of all bent out of shape. I think he was trying to put like a lawnmower battery in this thing, which I appreciate, because really isn't a reason why you can't use those instead of the 100 and whatever change they charge for a power sports battery these days. Oh, new air filter. I had one of those sitting around, so I threw that in there. All the brakes work now, hence the caliper and stuff. Lights work, both trail and brake on the back, and both low and high beams on the front. Wheel bearings are fine. 2x4. There's none of that to worry about on this machine. Current tabs. I think is there anything else on this machine. The bearing or the racks aren't too bad shaped. A little bent on this side, but not too bad. I think there was even a toe strap in this little cubby there. I've heard good things about these 325s. I know our neighbor has had his for right around 20 years, something like that. Got it pretty much when it was new. Had it ever since. That's what kind of drew me to this machine. I was like, well, if he's had it for that long, you know, this thing's probably worth putting a little bit of time into, you know. Steer's okay. These aren't the fastest four-wheelers. More torque than anything. I'd say it's probably the same as most four-wheelers low gear as a high gear. This does not have low, it just has high and reverse, neutral. Let's see, low beam off, low beam, high beam. Electric start works, obviously. I think this thing has, yeah, full rope works. Just not gonna try it. But yeah, I mean, there's really not much to it, I guess. I mean, we just took it on about a 10-15 mile ride, something like that. I'd put it as more of a utility quad rather than like a trail rider. Good for around the house. an interesting four-wheeler. I think the lights work on the dash, maybe. Nope. Well, I'm not sure what else there is. There's no tach, obviously, or odometer, so I don't know how many miles are on it. I know this thing was parked for minimum 5 years. I know it says 2019. There's no way it was running in 2019. The gas in that thing had to have been well over. There's no way it was only 3-4 years. It was so tarnished and gone. We had to take the tank out and clean it out and all this other stuff. So, if you have any questions, I guess throw them in the comments. Otherwise, have a good one.